poison known as hala hala. Even the name sounds poisonous, isn't it? And when the poison came out, it was so bad that the Devatas and demons felt they were going to die. So then Lord Vishnu advised them, let us all go and see Lord Shiva. Because he's so compassionate as a Vaishnava, he will help. So they offer suitable prayers to Vaishnava, to Lord Shiva, including Lord Vishnu. And Prabhupada writes that this is also the Lord's way of glorifying his great devotee. What better way than to show that he can actually help these Devatas. So Lord Shiva, being very compassionate Vaishnava, he says, I will swallow this poison. He scoops the entire poison which was throughout the entire ocean. He reduces it into the size of his palm and he starts drinking it. And because he's so powerful a personality, the only effect of the poison is that his throat becomes bluish. And he's known till today as Nilakanta. But Bhagavatam says some drops of poison fell to the floor and the scorpions and other poisonous insects and snakes of the world, they consume the poison greedily, and that is why today they are also poisonous in nature. So it is coming from that time. So it is very nicely stated in Bhagavatam that great personalities like Lord Shiva, they are so compassionate that they are always prepared to accept voluntary suffering just for the benefit of the people who are suffering in this world. When you have time, you should look at that verse. It's in the 8th chapter, 8th canto, 7th chapter, 42nd verse. It's very nice. Tapyante lokatapena. This is the mood of devotees. Devotees are prepared to suffer for the people in general if somehow or another they can give them Krishna. This voluntary suffering, Bhagavatam tells us, is considered Parama Aradhanam Taddihi. It is the highest method of worshipping Krishna. So if we can't help anyone, at least we should be prepared to perform austerities to please the Lord. Mangala Arati is a great austerity. And if we can perform Mangala Arati daily to please Krishna, then we will inspire others to take up this service. So Lord Shiva dispelled the poison hala hala. And now after that, the cow Surabhi came. And Surabhi, the moment it came, the Devatas were thinking Surabhi would be perfect in Swargaloka. Because she would give completely unending supply of ghee. Can you imagine? If every temple had a Surabhi cow, how much money we will save, you know? Amazing. But then they remembered Krishna's instruction. Everything that comes out, don't desire. Undiverted attention. So they remembered Krishna. So the moment they didn't want Surabhi, the sages came and they took Surabhi. Then a beautiful white horse, Ucha Shravaya, he came. And when he came out, Indra was thinking, this horse I should be having. But then he remembered the instruction of the Lord. And Bali Maharaj took the horse. Of course, Indra could do nothing. Then after that, Bhagavatam tells us, the elephants, 8 elephants resembling Airavata, they also were born. But they also were not taken by the Devatas. Then after them, there came Kaustuba gem. And when the Kaustuba gem came, both the demons and Devatas thought this gem is too beautiful. But then the Lord came as Vishnu and he said, this one is mine. So both of them could not take it. Then after that, beautiful heavenly Apsaras came. But when they came, Bali Maharaj said, they belong to us. And the Devatas said, remember Krishna's point. And after that, the goddess Rama, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi herself, she came out of the ocean. And when she came out, the Devatas, the demons, they were mesmerized by her. Immediately, Lakshmi Devi looked around to think who would be suitable for me. But every person that she saw, she found that there was some fault. He looks very nice, but he's not capable of being strong. He looks very strong, but he's not capable of being nice. And Prabhupada says this is the nature of the material world. Everything looks very nice, but every endeavor is covered by fault. So at that point, Lakshmi Devi was searching for one who is perfect. And when Lord Vishnu appeared before her, she garlanded him. And so, of course, the goddess of fortune's natural belonging place is with the lotus feet of the Lord. And she also left. Now the Devatas were becoming frustrated. Everything that's coming out is valuable and nothing we can get. We are the ones working. The demons are benefiting. Lord is benefiting very much. getting? We're not getting anything. So they start feeling a bit demoralized, But at that point, there is a beautiful goddess. Her name is Varuni. She is known as the goddess of the drunkards. Prabhupada translates, because she is the goddess of all alcoholic beverages. There are wonderful alcoholic beverages apart from that found in this material world. And if you read Bhagavatam, they appear to be much more intoxicating. And this goddess is the presiding deity. So the moment she came out, Bali Maharaj turned to Lord Vishnu, Bhagavatam says, and says, she belongs to us. After all, we are demons, And Lord Vishnu said, you take her. So he took her. And now the Devatas felt, we have done enough and we are trying very best to remember. But let us have faith in Krishna. And at that point, a beautiful, lustrous being comes out. And he is none other than Dhanvantri, a plenary portion of the plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he comes out carrying nectar. The moment he comes out with nectar, the Devatas say, this is it. The demons also say, this is it. The Devatas remember Krishna's instructions. Krishna said, when nectar comes out, be patient, be peaceful, don't be angry, don't be agitated. No two A's, but two P's. So they restrain their senses for the pleasure of the Lord. And the demons pounce on the nectar. The moment they pounce on it, the demons start fighting with each other. And they say, it belongs to me, belongs to me, belongs to me, belongs to me. The stronger demons do that. The lesser demons now realize they got no chance against their stronger brothers. So now they advance another argument. They say, instead of fighting with each other, why don't we sit down peacefully with the Devatas and decide what to do? See, demons are so cunning. When they can't get it, others also should not get it. Then they advance very clever arguments. But while they were advancing all these arguments, the Devatas remembered peace, patience, no anger, no agitation. And there appeared the Lord. And they turned to the Lord and said, my Lord, we have done what we can. Now we leave it at your lotus feet. We are very anxious because the nectar is going to be distributed. Doesn't look like unending supply. Once it finishes, Haribol. What do we do? And at that point of time, the Lord says, don't worry. I am pleased with your peace. I am pleased with your patience. And most of all, I am pleased that you have followed my instructions. Now watch what I will do. And the Lord assumes another beautiful form of Mohini Murti. This is the only episode in the whole Bhagavatam where the Lord comes as Kurma avatar, and simultaneously within that episode he manifests so many other incarnations, including now the most beautiful female form in all the universes. And now the Lord as Mohini Murti started walking into the assembly of the demons. The demons were fighting, but suddenly a hush fell over them. When they saw the beautiful form of Mohini Murti, nectar was completely forgotten. Suddenly everyone started straightening themselves. And they all started becoming distracted by the beauty of Mohini. And because they wanted to impress this beautiful maiden, they all collectively suddenly became very united and brought the nectar and said, my dear lady, where have you come from? What is your name? Are you married? They were very straightforward. Demonic mentality is like that. So immediately they were asking these questions. And immediately, without even being asked, they volunteered. We are all now in the midst of a big dispute. And the dispute is over this, the nectar. But because you look so wonderful and you look so beautiful, therefore we believe that you will help us to settle this dispute. There is no connection actually. But demonic thinking is always foolish thinking. Where is the connection between someone who looks good and intelligence? There is no connection. But the demons are completely fooled by the external energy of the Lord. And therefore, when you are fooled by the external energy of the Lord, there is no rationale in the mind. You do foolish things. And the demon said, you take it now and you settle this dispute between us. We trust you. Now the Lord gives them one last chance. He says in 3 verses, are you sure you want to trust a beautiful woman? Are you very sure that you know anything about me? Are you sure? Because Shastras tell us that if you want to put your faith in beauty which is alluring, you will lose everything. So are you very sure? See, Krishna is so kind right till the end. He's giving the demonic class a chance. But they are demonic. They say, no, we have full faith in you. You take the nectar and tell us what to do. So Moini Murti smiles and says, you all go and take bath. Too much of churning, you look terrible. Devatas, you go and take a bath now. After that, set up a yajna on the shores. Do some nice yajna and perform some nice charity and offer some charities to brahmanas. After doing all the sacrifices and ablutions and everything, sit in 2 rows. I will come and divide nectar. So they did all that. And after they sat down by the shore, Moini Murti started with the Devatas. Now the demons were a little bit suspicious. We want it all for ourselves. We told her to divide it. Why is she going there? Now Moini Murti put the Devatas a bit further off. And then she came to the demons and she said, she actually pacified them. She said, these Devatas are foolish people. And they are not as powerful and great as you. So I'm just going to give them a little bit and then I'll give you everything else. And demons thinking, yes, she's very beautiful, so she must be very intelligent. She's intelligent, therefore she's beautiful. And they were completely mesmerized by her. So what do? They say, go ahead. So the Lord perfectly times the distribution of nectar in such a way that is going to end with the Devatas. When one demon, Rahu, somehow or another, he recognizes this point. Now this point is not found in the Bhagavatam purports here. But many of our spiritual leaders in ISKCON, including my spiritual master, have actually brought this point up because it is stated by the Goswamis. The question that's always asked is, how is it that Rahu as a demon could actually understand that the Lord was actually cheating the demons? What was his qualification? There was only one qualification. As Rahu saw that the Lord was giving nectar to everyone, he thought, how come the nectar is not coming to us? There must be some higher intelligence at work here. Someone very powerful is cheating us. And who else can be more powerful in this universe than that Supreme Lord, our arch enemy Vishnu? Because Rahu recognized the supremacy of Krishna, Krishna allowed him to switch camps so that he goes over to the camp of where the Devatas are. Krishna allows him to drink right up to about his neck and then decides this is enough and severs his head with Sudarshan Chakra. The body is lifeless and Rahu becomes the planet as one of the Navagrahas that we all know. And we know today if you talk about Rahu being in your house is not good news, isn't it? Because of demonic qualities. By the time Rahu finished, the Devatas had finished, Mohini Murti turns around and she turns into her own form as the Supreme Lord. The demons realize no nectar. The demons realize they are completely cheated. But by now, it's a little too late. Krishna, as Lord Vishnu, turns to the Devatas. And now with a triumphant smile, he says, because you all obeyed me with peace and patience, and because you were somehow or another having faith in me, you have achieved the result. And after that comes this verse. This verse summarizes the entire pastime. Because it says, the Devatas and the demons were at the same place, at the same time. They were there to get nectar. They were doing the same activity and they had the same ambition. So actually what separated them? What separates us from those who are also working? We are also working. What is the difference? The difference is one set of people had faith in Krishna. The other set of people had only faith in themselves. And that is the only qualification for the starting of devotion service. Strong, unwavering faith. And faith is achieved. And when it is achieved, the way the Devatas achieved it, two things come into the hearts of such devotees. They become peaceful, and Krishna gives them the patience to withstand whatever adversities of life that come. And because of that, the Devatas were so strong that the demons had to retreat in a very powerful battle that ensued. But I will tell you something very important. In the next chapter, the Devatas and the demons fight. The Devatas had nectar. They were very strong, isn't it? That's why Krishna told them, you fight, you'll win. But 3/4 ways through the chapter, if you read the very, very violent aspects of the battle, you'll find after a while the Devatas were losing ground and the demons were very strong. And at that point, the Devatas realized that for all the Amrit we drank, the real Amrit is our faith in Krishna. So what do? They again pray to Krishna. And then Krishna comes on top of Garuda and he finishes what they started. And he wins the battle for them. So at the end, the real lesson to learn is, if we turn to Krishna for Amrit or anything ambrosial in this material world, we may get it. But ultimately, it doesn't serve the true purpose of our existence. Amrit also will go. The real reason why Krishna wanted the Devatas to depend on him was that he would be always sheltering them and protecting them. As devotees of Krishna, while we always seek protection from the Lord, our real prayer is not protection from, it is not protection of this material world, or it is not protection of our material body that matters to a devotee. What matters to a devotee, Bhagavatam says, is the protection of his or her consciousness. We pray that our consciousness will always be at the lotus feet of the Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual masters, and in that way, we will always automatically be at the lotus feet of Krishna. That is the real nectar. And the way to achieve it is given in this beautiful pastime. Be peaceful in all adversities. Be patient. In anger and agitation, devotional service can never be achieved. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Kori Vaishravinda ki. Jai Gaura Premanand. Are there any questions, any comments, any realizations?
In this the particular pastime, what is the purpose of nectar is giving here?
The material purpose of nectar was, it was supposed to be a very powerful concoction that would enable whoever was going to fight to prolong their lives indefinitely, almost immortality. So, strictly speaking, because the demons and the devatas were always fighting each other, they felt that if either one had nectar, they would win the battle, or they would be better placed to win the battle. So the mood was actually material. But the point of this pastime is, even when a devotee approaches Krishna for material benedictions, if he has faith in Krishna, Krishna still protects him. But eventually Krishna teaches him that that which he wants materially will not achieve the purpose for which he wants. Just like the nectar did not finally achieve victory for them. Finally, it was their devotional faith in Krishna that got them to win the battle. So it's a good lesson for devotees, because we also have material desires. And very often for us, the material desires are so important. But after a while, Krishna teaches us through adversities that the fulfillment of material desires does not guarantee eternal happiness. Sometimes the fulfillment of material desires only increases more anxiety, especially when you're in this material world. Is that helpful, Prabhu?
And also I have a small doubt.
Please.
In connection to this pastime,
Yes.
While the Mohini, in the form the Lord in the form of Mohini, when she came to the distribution of this Amrita, and what about the Bali Maharaj? Bali Maharaj was there?
Oh yes. At that time, Bali Maharaj was the king of the demons.
So he also was attracted to her?
He was attracted to her. Even the devatas were attracted to her. Even the Lord was attracted to his own form, Prabhu. Because the form of Mohini Murti is completely spiritual. It is coming from Krishna. Krishna is so beautiful that Bhagavatam says, when the goddess of fortune saw Mohini Murti, even she felt, I am outclassed. Later, when Lord Shiva wants to see the form of the Lord as Mohini Murti, in Bhagavatam, a few chapters down, even he gets mesmerized. So even a devotee is attracted to the beauty of Krishna. And if Krishna wants to mesmerize anyone, nobody is safe from Krishna, so to speak. Bali Maharaj is a great devotee of the Lord. But in this chapter, he was also the king of the demons. His time with Krishna will be in the later part of the 8th canto, when he will be tested by the Lord in the form of Vamandev, and he shows his true worth as a devotee. But even here, Bali Maharaj, though he had the great association of parentage and ancestral purification being the grandson of Prahlad, Bhagavatam tells us because he was always in the association of demonic thinking, that association sometimes colors us. It's a good lesson for all of us too. We may have a lot of opportunities to be with devotees, but if we don't take advantage of that association, we will succumb to material association eventually. It's a very practical point for us to be careful with. That's a good point you brought up.
I also have a small...
One more small doubt.
Yeah.
Okay?
And is it okay to cheat the demonic people?
Yes.
Krishna cheats the demonic people because his ultimate aim of cheating is to give them that which they think is not important. The simple example that Shastras tell us is, if you tell a young child who's eating ice cream every day, if the father tells the child, keep eating the ice cream every day, he's not a very responsible parent. But the child thinks the world of him. But if the father cheats the child by saying, I lost the ice cream, there's no ice cream man today, he won't come back till next month, that's cheating. But the father does that because the child is not in proper consciousness to understand that yet. But in time, the child realizes the value of that cheating because it probably saved his health. So Krishna is like that with demonic thinking. How many times we have been in positions where we thought we know better than Krishna, but Krishna, by his own mercy, has taken things which we think are important to us. But by taking them away, Prabhu, he sometimes induces in us the mood to surrender to him. Sometimes you have to amputate a limb to save a body. It is better to amputate than to lose everything. So when Krishna cheats, it is for our good. When we cheat, it's for no one's good. So that's why Krishna is Krishna, and we should remain as his servants. Is that all right? Thank you.
I have one question.
Yes, Prabhu. Good to see you.
We are absolutely honored to have you, of course.
No, we are happy to be
Yes,
back, Prabhu.
but the reason, one of the things that keeps coming up is Krishna created both the Devatas as well as the demons together.
Okay, Krishna created both the Devatas and the demons, yes.
So then why the disparity or the difference of treatment?
Very nice. Very nice question. If Krishna created both the demons and the Devatas, why the disparity in treatment? The simplest example, probably a bit more crude, but example nevertheless, is the example of parents who have children, Prabhu. From our union, from the same mother's womb, two sons may grow, or two son and daughters may come. One may be very nice, the other may be a total wreck. For the Lord, or for the mother and the father, you will realize that even though I have firm faith and love for my child who's always obeying me, still I have also equal love for that child who's always rebellious. But he will not listen to things nicely. I have to pinch him a bit, put him through some difficulty, and then he will start to slowly become understanding. Krishna never forgets the demons because they are also his children. But he has to administer a different treatment for them because they are rebellious by nature. And that is how even we who have demonic qualities, Krishna finds ways through other devotees to touch our hearts and bring us back. So on a higher level, Krishna doesn't see a distinction. It's we who see a distinction. And because we see it that way, those who are demonic in mentality don't come to Krishna. Those who are devotional in mentality, they are able to value Krishna. But Krishna has to reciprocate differently. You cannot give the same treatment to a rebellious child as you do to a loving child. In fact, he will abuse it and you're not doing him a service. You may have to withdraw some privileges from him, put him through tough time, tell him, learn the value of money. I have to cut down on your allowance. But ultimately it benefits him. He may think you are demon. That's what the demons think of Krishna. They think they are Devatas and they think Krishna is demon. But actually, in the long run, they are all purified. Is that helpful, Prabhu?
Yes, thank you so much.
I think we have to stop because I heard the conch. Gaura Arati is going on.
Sometimes cannot be already
Okay. Are there any other questions? Yes, Mataji.
I was wondering that it was about Indra being angry because Indra is a devotee, like you're saying, but when Indra became angry because they are in charge of the rain and
Yes.
administrating the universe.
Yes.
And so if they are not pure devotees,
Yes.
then all this havoc, sometimes the weather and everything.
Yes.
How do we know that? My question is, how does Krishna organize this universe if some of his bhaktas are spaced out?
That's a good question. How does Krishna organize his universe if some of his devotees who occupy administrative positions as devatas, they go spaced out? Actually, the position of Indra is always being filled by the most qualified entity. So if that particular Indra doesn't behave himself, Krishna has the great power to hire and fire. So he will accordingly do that. So in fact, Krishna is so expert that he will know which person or which personality is up to the mark. The reason why we have havoc in terms of what's happening here doesn't actually have to do with the expert administration of Krishna. It is deliberate because it is the onset of Kali Yuga. So it is not maladministration, but it is purposeful administration in line with the coming of the deterioration of this age.
So for example, Indra became angry with the inhabitants of Vrindavan.
Yes. He became angry with the inhabitants because he's not a pure devotee. He succumbed to the opulence of his position. But Krishna is so kind, Mataji, that when someone or when a devotee who is struggling or trying to perform his duties, if he has a fall down or a shortcoming, Krishna nips the problem in the bud. And that's what he did with Indra very quickly. With Brahmaji also. Brahmaji is the most exalted being in the whole universe. But when he played the Leela of stealing the cows and calves, Krishna also had to check him to show him that finally, don't forget, you are coming from my navel, not the opposite way. And therefore, finally, I am your Supreme Lord. So when a loving father checks his sons, it is pleasing to the sons because they know that they have faith in the father. Sometimes because the modes of material nature are so strong and Swargaloka is in the material world, so is Brahma's planet. So Brahmaji also has modes of material nature. Brahmaji also has birth, death, old age and disease. The law applies. It just slows down tremendously, but it applies. So the devatas are helpful for us because we understand how they struggle. And through their struggles, we come to avoid such struggles in our lives. Then Bhagavatam gives us pure devotees to learn from also. We see their lives, we compare it, and we understand the lessons to be learned from Bhagavatam. So actually with Bhagavatam, we can definitely carve out a roadmap to attain this pure devotional service. Everything is there. There is no need to go anywhere else. Everything is contained in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's complete. All we have to do is bury our heads, study in the association of devotees, and then act on it. Because then it comes as realization. Is that helpful? Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, my question is not from this chapter. Is it okay if I ask?
I can try.
Would you like to explain me how Durga is the expansion of Radharani?
In Chaitanya Charitamrita and also in parts of Bhagavatam, every female manifestation of energy is coming ultimately from Srimati Radharani. And Radharani is considered the supreme embodiment of the Lord's internal potency. But the Lord's internal potency is that energy that protects the devotees.